Praise the Lord. The truth is, everybody standing is helped. I'm telling you. And sometimes when we preach and we are very stern, it's because we know the aspect of being deliberate. So when my mom died, that was around 2010. I was so discouraged. The reason is because my own case came from my disappointment in God. Because my mom was always giving to prayers, and she was always prophesying how that she would see her children and her children's children. And suddenly she was cut off. So my faith was attacked. Because I believe in what works. And if a woman prays like this, commits her whole life to you, I've not understood warfare, and she's cut off, then this thing may not be true. So I backed out on God. And the moment I turned my back on God, other demons came in quickly. So I got given to alcohol. In Nigeria, there's a drink we call Star Lager beer. So usually in the evenings, there is this test. If you don't take Star, if you like, take a drum of water. You can't, but when you take a bottle of Star, then you come alive. So Star Lager beer, and then at some point, I started going clubbing. So we go to clubs, we dance, we have fun. I mean, that was the world, And for 1 year, I went from heaven to hell. Everything collapsed. I was a drunk. I was clubbing every Friday. The only thing I didn't do was smoking. But one day while I was in the club, I danced with a lady and I was to take her home. And then I heard a voice speak from the wall. The wages of sin is death. So fear hit my heart. Because I was angry with God. And I don't pretend over things. I abandoned everybody. I told them to get out with their religiosity. So I fell headlong until God came for me. That word came. I started contemplating it, struggling. That was when God sent a pastor my way. And then he began to encourage me. The love formula. Talked to me. Took me back to church. And I thought the way I turned away, I could turn back. That was when I discovered it was warfare. So every Friday, my body literally begins to itch me. Because it's like the club was pulling me. I was being pulled. I had to start taking fasts. Start taking prayer exercises. That was when I learned the way of solitude. So sometimes I'll go on 40 days fasting, go on 90 days fast, so that I could deaden the flesh, because it was so strong. If you don't go to this club, you want to die. When my friends had to relocate from the city, I literally felt lonely. I became so scared, because my whole life was about clubbing and drinking. And God began to come in for me. Through love, through discipline. I was gradually restored until the fire of God came back. So, I've